Nina Turner is a former Ohio State senator who served as Bernie Sanders' 2020 campaign co-chair. And Julian Epstein is a Democratic consultant and former chief counsel to the House Judiciary Committee. Great to have you both back again. Nina, I'd like to start with you. Vice President Harris has her work cut out for her. Polls show a majority of voters have long had an unfavorable view of her, and a majority say the country is headed in the wrong direction under the Biden-Harris administration.
Well, Elizabeth, definitely a serious mountain to climb, but I think that she can do it. She has to come out and recognize the pains and the fears and the concerns of working class people in this country. It is the economy. She has to come out and she's going to have to do a delicate dance because she is still the vice president right now. And as you were highlighting, what Biden's record is her record, but what I believe what she can do is just set a tone for what people can expect when she gets into office. When you are the vice president, 99.9% of the time, you got to stand by your man. And that is exactly what she did. Now the tables have turned, and it is a firm opening for her to show how she would lead and lead differently. And one more point, Elizabeth, I think to build a broad-based coalition, she is going to have to speak to some of those other concerns. Gaza is one of them.
Yeah, we'll get to that in just a second. Julian, most Americans say they want to change. How does she argue she's changed when she's been part of the current administration for 4 years?
Well, I think that raises the central question. I think there's no question that Kamala Harris is a better candidate than Joe Biden. I think nobody would question that. The question is she the best candidate? And the same Democratic Party elite groupthink that brought you Joe Biden and insisted for 2 years that we don't need primaries and that he should be the candidate is now arguing that we don't need an open process to nominate his successor. And, you know, the question again is whether she is the best candidate. If you look at the New York Times Siena poll, she is losing to Donald Trump 48 to 42. That's 6 points.
Right.
You have to win the popular vote by 3 points to be competitive in the Electoral College. That's a lot of ground to make up. She's 17 points underwater in terms of her unfavorability rating. So when you hear her today embracing the Biden record and saying that Biden has been the most successful president in one term, more successful than other presidents in 2 terms, you have to ask the question, according to who? Democratic elites believe that president has been an effective president because he got some legislation passed.
Yeah.
But voters don't believe that.
Yeah.
Voters by a 2-to-1 margin say the Donald Trump economy was better than the Joe Biden economy. So again, it raises the question, do you want somebody that inherits all the baggage of Joe Biden? And he's a very unpopular president, and Kamala Harris is a very unpopular vice president. Or do you want a fresh face, or at least an open process, so that voters could decide who would be the best candidate? And the elites are saying no.
Julian, you're leading me right to my next question. And Nina, I'd like you to since Julian has already teed it up for you so nicely, the New York Times editorial page wrote today, choosing Harris would be a reasonable path. Nonetheless, party delegates should have voice in a decision of this consequence. Picking a candidate without a real contest is how the party got into a position of anointing a standard bearer that large majorities of Democrats and independents had profound concerns about. Nina, we saw this back when your candidate, Bernie Sanders, basically got shoved out of the way during the Democratic primary. They're doing it again here.
Well, I've been sounding the alarm, so you get no argument from me. I was one of those. I felt like a voice in the wilderness crying out to say, let's have open primary process. But the Democratic elites did not want to do that. Now, here we are. We are 4 months out, so we don't have time to play games and to haggle over whether or not we should have an open process, because we all know President Biden has endorsed his vice president to be the standard bearer for the Democratic Party. Whether people are jumping up and down about it is of no consequence with less than 4 months left. Now, if they want to just for a facade, because the party has been of late good at facade, try to pretend like we have an open process at the convention. I am a DNC delegate. Ohio is having a call tonight. And I bet you that tonight, all of the delegates from Ohio are going to support Vice President Harris to be the nominee. So, Elizabeth, we don't have time. We had time last year. We don't have time this year. And all those other people, she is the only one that has been on the ballot in all 50 states, albeit President Biden is not favorable. But we knew that going in.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.